the tactics of the Tea Party. I'm going to hurt a lot of innocent people unless I get my way. This is the first time it was in the spotlight, that the American people saw it. They didn't like it. The Republican Party has learned a lesson here, and I think you're going to see a more mainstream conservative Republican Party. I don't think we'll have the same kind of brinksmanship on January 15th and February 7th.
Right.
That was Senator Chuck Schumer of New York just moments ago on Morning Joe on the state of the Republican Party. And joining us now from Capitol Hill, Republican Senator from Arizona, Senator John McCain. Good to have you on the show this morning, sir.
How you feeling this morning, Senator?
Living the dream, Joe. Living the dream.
Living the dream, baby. Living the dream. So I guess the question is, how do we get the 24% that approve of the Republican Party and the 21% who approve of the Tea Party? How do we get them together again moving forward? Because there is obviously a divide right now that needs to be healed.
Well, first of all, focus on the future and recognize we learned a lesson and assure the American people we're not going to do this to them again. The damage is horrendous. You know, Joe, I had this old line that you've heard, that we're down to blood relatives and paid staffers. You know, I've overused that, but yesterday I got a call from my mother who's 101. We're losing blood relatives, and so...
That's not good.
I lost my mom a long time ago. Yeah.
So anyway, we got to assure the American people that we're not going to do this again. Then we do have to focus on the provisions of Obamacare that are unacceptable and that we need to change Obamacare. The third thing is to get a positive agenda for the party so that we can be for things rather than against things, for opening things rather than closing them, for providing opportunities rather than blocks to progress. And I'm confident we can do that. We've had tough times in the past. Look, Joe, you were around the last time, and I would also like to point out that we learned a lesson last time. We forgot it. We've learned a lesson this time. So I think that I'm very confident that we won't go through this exercise again at these expiration dates that are coming up. I'm very confident of that.
But yet, Senator, you know, while everything was happening, I think the vote was going down yesterday, you still had members of the Republican Party doubling down. How do you get that positive agenda going, given some of the folks there?
I don't think you have a majority of them anymore. I mean, you may have people, we've discussed this before, but there are many who were elected in 2010 telling their constituents that they would do whatever's necessary to repeal Obamacare. They are fulfilling their commitment to their constituents. But the majority now of my party, I am confident, does not want to do this again. And by the way, if they were still committed, if a majority of them were still committed to that, we would still have a government shutdown.
Jeremy Peters of the New York Times. Jeremy.
Good morning, Senator. I was going to ask you how badly you think your friend Mitch McConnell was damaged by those nice words that Chuck Schumer said about him last night. But I'd like to ask you a little bit more serious questions. You're part of this group of 14 centrist senators that is going to try to work on solutions going forward and try to, you know, bridge this bitter partisan divide. After these dust-ups in the past, we've seen groups like yours come together and really kind of struggle to produce any meaningful results. Why do you think this time will be different?
Well, we did reach an agreement, and that agreement, frankly, was a better deal for Republicans than the ones we finally caved into. And by the way, there were many more than 14 who wanted to join it. And also, Mika, you might be interested that it was dominated by women, much to my dismay. And so I think there's a willingness out there that we really don't want to. One thing that politicians crave, it's approval. Look at the disapproval that we have. We know we've got to start doing things differently, and there's a lot of good people of goodwill who I think are ready to do that. And it's not going to be unanimous, but I think there is there's a dynamism there that make us at least achieve some goals, and I'm confident we can do that.
That is hopeful. Senator John McCain, thank you. It's always good to see you.
Living the dream, baby. Living the dream.
Joe.
Thank you so much.